Hi, my name is Ashleigh Demyan, and I'm a student studying advertising and communications at Michigan State University. Today I'm going to be talking about the effects of advertising on children. On average, a child sees over 3,000 ads per day in various places like on TV, online websites, billboards along the highway, and many more locations. Children younger than 12 years old spend a total of $25 billion a year, which is one of the reasons why companies try to target them. Children are incredibly impressionable, so when advertisers target them, they know that they are an easily influenced audience. A few European countries don't even allow advertising to children at all, and some have many restrictions in place to help protect children because a topic that is not talked about enough is the impact of advertising on children, but even more specifically, the influence of gender stereotypes. Advertisements can have a huge impact on a child's socialization patterns, behavioral expectations, and arguably the most important factor is the power of ads on children's self-esteem. A study by Kapoor and Verma in 2005 researched Indian children's cognitive responses to television advertising. It found that about 64% of children between the ages of 3 and 6 were more interested in TV advertisements than in the actual TV programs because they thought that the content was real. This is because children are too young to comprehend the idea of selling a product, so they don't understand that their minds are basically being manipulated by advertisers. In an article published by the National Library of Medicine, they say gender socialization can lead children to believe that certain roles are gender specific through the observation and imitation of others. It suggests that children closely observe and imitate the attitudes, values, and behaviors of same-gendered models to determine what it means to be male or female. The idea of gender socialization stems from Albert Bandura's social cognitive theory, which explains that people learn from observing, imitating, and modeling others' behavior. So overall, what children see in ads, they are likely to recreate. Children learn a lot of social norms and gender stereotypes in advertising, which influences how they form ideas about relationships and gender dynamics. This overall impacts how children view friendships, romantic relationships, and roles of family members. Another way that ads influence children's understandings of interpersonal dynamics is by promoting ideas such as boys being dominant and girls being submissive. This also leads into behaviors that they can learn. As I said before, Bandura's social cognitive theory explains what they see is often what they do. There are many gender stereotypes used in advertising, but a big one is how women should act feminine and how men should act masculine, but it goes much deeper than that. Advertisements of toys geared towards girls are often shown in the kitchen doing homemaking or caregiving tasks. This is for girls to start welcoming the role of taking care of others at a young age. Some toys used to do this are a baby doll or a fake kitchen. They also have many play toys for being a princess, pretend makeup, or other make-believe roles, but those costumes and accessories are likely pink, frilly, and still have the dainty and feminine look to them. Ads that are pointed towards boys are based around brain stimulation. They usually have building blocks, trucks, and action figures. There are many toys based on jobs like trucks for construction workers, police officers, and firefighters where boys can start to become familiar and interested in different real career paths compared to girls dressing up as fairies. Action and building things are big components to toys geared towards boys. Many toys that are related to STEM are also for boys, which creates the idea for young girls that careers related to STEM are more manly, and so they stick to pretend food and play makeup. You may say that dolls and action figures are basically the same thing because they have the same general idea, but this is not the case at all. Many dolls come with things where you have to take care of them by feeding, changing diapers, or even burping them, which are all very real components of taking care of children, and this is teaching young girls this. While on the other hand, the action figures that boys are playing with come with weapons to fight each other, or even cars like the Batman and Batmobile set. Even in advertisements themselves, aside from the toy being shown, the actors used push these ideas of learning behavior roles. The girls are always playing with pink toys and wearing pink and white, dainty, and clean-looking clothing. Boys in ads, on the other hand, usually wear blue, green, or black, which historically gives a more dominant feel. The girls in the ads are usually portrayed as passive, gentle, and nurturing, while boys are supposed to be adventurous, protective, and aggressive. Even in toy aisles at stores, you can easily tell if the toys are meant for girls or boys, depending on if it's mainly pink and purple aisle or a blue and green aisle. These ads create the idea that girls should play with pink toys and boys with blue. This can lead to a lack of emotional expression among boys and an increased social pressure on girls to prioritize relationships over personal ambitions. As a result, those who don't conform to stereotypical gender roles may experience bullying and result in them feeling like they aren't good enough. In the long run, it can cause self-esteem and mental health-related problems. The way that men and women are shown in ads creates self-esteem issues for many young kids, developing teens, and even adults. The biggest issue many children face is their body image, and this is emphasized in ads as well as the toys that are being pushed onto children. From the ads themselves to the toys being promoted, children see women with slim, toned bodies, hair that lays perfectly, blemish-free skin, and flawless makeup. When they see men, they are usually nicely shaven, muscular, dressed well, and have expensive things like watches or cars. The body expectations are present for both girls and boys, but they're more impactful when they have children's toys like Barbies and G.I. Joe to push these ideas. Barbies have statistically impossible body proportions, but that is one of the most well-known representations of what is considered feminine and desirable for kids. If the Barbie was a real human, their body would not be able to survive. She would be 5 feet 9 inches tall, weigh 110 pounds. This would give her a BMI of 16.24 and be classified as anorexic. In 1965, Slumber Party Barbie came out and was sold with a book and scale. The book was titled How to Lose Weight, and inside the book, all it said was, "Don't eat." The scale she came with was set at 110 pounds and did not change. For boys, the equivalent of the Barbie would be the G.I. Joe. When you see him, he looks manly and muscular, which is what boys think is expected of them. He wears military clothing and carries weapons, which kind of feeds into the image of men going to war and protecting women and the rest of the country. Both of these iconic figures feed into the idea of what should be feminine or masculine, when in reality, if a person had their physique, they would not be able to function. It creates unrealistic standards that kids learn from an early age to compare themselves to. Overall, the advertising industry and media in general have a long way to go to improve themselves for children. Children take in a lot more information than we realize, and every little thing they see sparks new ideas in their minds. We need to change the gender stereotypes and expectations to create a more welcoming and inclusive space, which in turn will create a more inclusive society for the coming generations.